Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at Power BI Slicer Visual. A slicer visual is a visual that you use to filter other visuals in Power BI. On my screen you can see two types of slicers here. This is the new one and this is the old slicer. If you want to select the new or the old, you can click on this visual gallery. You have the new one with the bold sign and the old one. You can also enable that by clicking on here. You have the old one here as well as the new one here. We are going to look at the difference between the old and the new and scenarios where you can use either the old or the new. Here you can see I have a card visual actually that this slicer filters. By the way, if you want to see how I built this card, the link is in my description. You can open that and check how to build this card visual. It's actually a new card. So let's get started on the comparison between the old and new slicer. So the first thing we are going to do is to look at the old one first. And we're going to simply build that here. I'll just click on this old slicer here and click on this to get in my data. I'm going to add the car name from the car data. You can see that this is the default setting for it. Then I'll click on my format pin to add some styles to this. So for the old one, actually, you can set your height and width as well as the horizontal and vertical position here. Okay, you can add the padding. I don't need any padding actually. I just want to create something simple. You can add the background, the visual border, and shadow. I want the visual border on, so I'm just going to turn on the visual border. Shadow, I don't want that on. And then slicer setting. You can select the different settings that you want. I want tiles. So what I'm going to do is to just adjust this to adjust the tile. I don't want the title, the slicer title on. For this part, you can just click on turn up the slicer header to remove that slicer header. For the old slicer also, we are going to look at another application that it has. We are going to, for this simple card visual, we're just going to add a slicer here. And for date, actually, we're going to be using this financial data. So I'll select date. You can represent different styles of date using the old slicer. The new one actually does not really support lots of exploration while you're working with date. So here you can have your date as a range. Get its filtering. You can also add another style for date. Click on slicer setting. Right now we have between. You can make it a vertical list that different styles for dates in particular. You can make it a tile. We have seen between. You can make it before, a date before, before this particular date. And you can also make it after. You can make it actually a drop down. This particular one is very advantageous in case you have like a lot of visuals on your dashboard that you want to minimize space, the use of space. So this drop down is a very good application for that. You can just click on the drop down to expand afterwards. It goes back and your report is nice and tidy. It's actually small and it does not occupy much space. You can also make it a relative time in last 1 day or 2 days. That is one application of the old slicer. That the new one, you don't have all these style options in the new slicer. Now let me add the new slicer to this particular visual. Let's look at how it treats date. So I'll click on here, select new slicer, bring out to the side and add date to it. So this is like the first default view for that. Let's look at the size and style. You just have the height and width. The padding, this is more of the aesthetics part. Visual border, title. So let's look at the slicer setting to see the options that we have. Okay, we only have single select, select all. Then we have the ability to change the shape, rounded, rectangle, or snip tab at the top. We have the button and layout. This layout, you only have grid, either grid view, single column, of which you need to expand. I believe this particular date doesn't really adapt to this particular format. Then single row as well. It doesn't make sense as well. So there's no point using that the new slicer for this. Basically just the grid. You can see that between the old and the new one, the old one has lots of adaptation for date column than the new one. So when you have to deal with date, I advise you use the old slicer. So let's look at more application for the new slicer and see other things that it has and the advantage it has over the old one. So for this particular one, we are going to use this part, and I'm going to use the car data again. I will click on this to add the new slicer, adjust that here, then add the car name. And right now I have it as this particular view. So I'm going to edit this because I want it to just be um, horizontal rows. So I'll click on the format, layout, maximum number of rows to show. Let me just put that to be 8. Then number of columns to show 1. So you can see that it's well arranged now. So the next thing that it has is that I can add my images just like I have in the initial page that we saw. So I'm going to add the image data here. Car data. I have a column titled images, which contain image URLs. So I'm just going to add that. So you can see that I have the images showing. I'm going to change that to fit, and the position is going to be the right of the visual. Oh, let me just make it the left because it shows better that way. Then I can also change the shape of the visual itself from rectangle to rounded rectangle, as the case may be. You can see that it's looking nice. And for the buttons, I can actually change some settings. The default setting, default, I want the field to be normal, but when it is selected, I want the field to be blue. So if I select Aston Martin, for instance, you can see that the field is blue. It has that nice button feel. This is like the basic advantage of the new slicer over the old one, in the sense that it gives room for addition of images and more customizations for that for your slicer, and it gives it a nice look and feel. The next thing we are going to look at is edit interaction. To enable edit interaction for slicer, when you click on the slicer, click on format, and then you have edit interaction. What this, you can see that the instruction says that it changes how slicers interact when data points are selected. So it actually changes how you can see that right now all this visual here, I have bar charts here as well as card. They are all being filtered when it's like when something is selected on this slicer. So this edit interaction actually controls what is being filtered. Take for instance that I don't want to filter body weight when I select something on this slicer, but I want to filter every other thing. So what I'm going to do is that I'll click on this slicer, go to edit interaction to enable the filter pane. You can see that this sign is saying that this should not filter, or this sign is saying that it should filter. So since I don't want body weight to be filtered, I will go and turn it off. You get? So right now, if I click on this filter, on this slicer here, every other thing is filtered, but body weight it's not filtered, it is static. So if you have a dashboard where you don't want the slicer to affect some of your visuals, there are some visuals you want to be static, you can use this edit interaction to be able to achieve that. That is one advantage of it, and it helps you to control what your slicer filters and what it doesn't filter. So if I want this body weight to start filtering back, I can just click on this filter here. So right now it is being filtered, as you can see. So, and if you want to turn off the edit interaction, you can just click on the slicer and then turn it off. So that is all for slicers, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video for more.